Okay, so this is the Wacom device that very kindly, there's they've only got a few in the country at the moment for education. It's a branch out from them. Apparently, they're very common. If you do animation, apparently a lot of Disney movies and drawing and work for those have been done with these kind of devices. But stretching out into education is a bit of a new thing for them. This is the slightly larger medium version, I think they call it. Yeah. There is another version that is about 2/3 the size. And this one is a cable version, but they also do a Bluetooth one. So I'm going to show you what this one can do first. So I work on a Chromebook. So I've got a big old 23-inch screen in front of me, a keyboard and my mouse, like a normal setup. But obviously, I can't touch my screen. So the Wacom board with a lovely pen, and it's actually quite a nice pen. It's quite pen-like. A lot of in tablets and things, on phones and things, just are like kind of a little pointy stick, more like a pencil. But this actually has quite a shape to it, and it's quite easy to grip. I mean, my interest is always the youngest children and how they would use things, and I think that they would grab hold of these quite easily. It is very plug and play with a Chromebook. So I've literally plugged it in and off we go. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what I've found myself with it, just playing with it. Okay, can everybody see my blank Google Doc there?
Yes.
Okay, lovely. So what I did was I went into the settings on the Chromebook and turned on the touch features. Now, obviously, if you've got a laptop, I think some of them are already turned on, but it's a simple, just a one-click switch it on. And that means this little language icon with a GB in it appears in your bottom corner. Now, if I click on that and click on the little squiggly line, this pops up at the bottom of the screen. Now, hopefully, it should be as easy as... Obviously, my writing is atrocious. I'm even going to try some joined up. Can you see the pop-up one that I'm writing on at the bottom?
Yes.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
I did wonder if as it pops up, as it may not show up on the video. So, and it's not brilliant, and you can choose from what's available. So I'm going to just fix that. And I've just typed a backspace and an N to fix that spelling or typo there. So for me, that was quite phenomenal. I've actually already been using this to write lists and write some notes. I do find it easier to just hand write things. But it would be a good way of getting some content out of small children from their handwriting of what would come up. So that was my first discovery. My second discovery was to use it with a Jamboard, which again, obviously you can just write on it. But then I thought, well, I had a look at and I think about it, and I am now actually only using the pen. I've stopped using my mouse completely. So I'm guiding this just like a touchscreen. So I thought if I go to the set background and choose the graphs, I suddenly thought, rather than I'm now going to go back to my mouse, if I wanted to actually write some maths, no, that's not working. But if I go to the pen, it is much, much easier to, and I think you could probably quite easily draw some graphs, distance over time, things like that. So I thought that was a really useful tool there. In the set background, there's also an ad, and there's some plain lines, but I don't see why we shouldn't be able to find a nice screenshot of the early years lining that will help children to formulate their letters, where it's a line, and a dots to help them get the D's and the G's and the tails and sticks and tails in the right places. So that was my second discovery, which I thought was rather cool. And then I moved on to Google Keep. And what I liked here was, as I wrote, it actually really looks like writing. It seems to have, and I can have pressure as I'm writing. So it really does look completely like my handwriting. So that was a very useful way. You could record young children's handwriting with it. Obviously, you can save all your notes and transfer them to other places. And then, having had a look at the Wacom website, they've got a dedicated section for Chromebooks. I came across Cami, which I've dabbled with, like yourselves, in the past. Only in to be able to draw on maps or to sign documents. But I came across their templates, and I'm going to hand over to Nicole in a moment, who's going to go into this in much more detail for me. But even this, I thought the situation, I could see it being used in reception class, where each child can choose their colour. I'm going to be green, and they can find their way through their maze. Oh, well, Claire's got stuck, you know, Sarah wants to go, she's going to go this way. And so this way you could take a screen in a classroom that isn't touch the front of the class, isn't a touch screen, and make it touch screen. So I was very taken with Wacom, and they are, and Stuart will go into the prices of them later, but they are a very cheap way of making old computers that have been flexed, or newer computers, big screens, into sudden touch screens. So with that.